Hello and welcome back to Bulldog Tales. This segment we have members of the varsity swim team with us today. So I'm here with John Kopp and Ken Castle. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll start by giving a little bit of an update on what the swim team's up to. They are going to be competing in sectionals next Saturday. They, along with 6 other swimmers, will be competing in the sectionals. They are both currently juniors on the swim team. And so I'll start with you, John. Talking to you here during the break, you said you swam for a long time before coming to high school. Can you give us a little bit of a background of your swimming life?
Yeah, I've been swimming like my whole life with swim lessons, and then I started competitively when I was 8, and then all the way up through high school so far.
And so when you're 8 years old, what is competing in swimming like? Is it different, obviously, than what high school is like?
Yeah, a little different. Only one lap, which is nice. So.
Are the events similar, or do they?
No, not really. A lot shorter distances.
All right, and Ken, you didn't get started into swimming until you got to high school.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what drew you to want to be a swimmer at this age?
Well, freshman year, me and John were on water polo together, and he told me that I should start swimming next year. So I started sophomore year.
All right, and you guys are both competing in sectionals coming up this weekend. John, can you give me the events that you'll be swimming in?
The 100 fly and 200 IM, and then the 200 medley relay and 200 free relay.
So you're going to be in 4 different events?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of our audience that don't know much about swimming, explain IM.
It's a 50 of every stroke, so 2 laps of every stroke. So it goes 2 fly, 2 back, 2 breast, 2 free.
Okay. All right. And Ken, what are you going to be competing in?
Swimming the 100 back, 100 free, and 400 free relay.
All right, and I'll stay with you, Ken, on that. Do they space at sectionals the events out to give you enough time to recover, or do you sometimes get jammed up because you have to go from one right to the next?
Depends on what events. Like some people have to go right back-to-back events, but I have space in between my events, so I get rest. And
is there any routine that you would have in between that you have a certain amount of time before you have to swim again? What you do?
Yeah, I just go cool down, just relax, wait till my next event.
Okay. And John, any particular strategies you use in between events when you have more than one to go after?
Yeah, cool down and listen to some nice pump-up music.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. For swimming's probably not a sport that a lot of kids or a lot of people know too much about. What's it like day in and day out swimming? I'll start with you, John. What is practice like? Give me a version of your day.
It's pretty tough. You have to come before school sometimes, so it's hard to make it through class a lot. And then you have it after, and it's pretty long and hard.
So you're practicing before and after school most days?
Yeah.
All right. And Ken, what do you think? How's the work comparatively, do you think, to other sports?
I think it's probably the most demanding sport, just because the practice hours are so long and practice is difficult and hard.
All right. Well, and I'll stay with that. You said it's the hardest sport. Do you play any other sports in high school?
Yeah, I play football and water polo.
Okay, so you would argue that swimming is a much more rigorous workout than football is for you?
I would.
Okay, good. And John, how about you? Any other?
Yeah, I used to play football in pretty much every sport too.
And you find that swimming is a much tougher sport to stick with?
Yeah.
All right, well, that being said then, what would you argue are the benefits from being a swimmer that would be better off than any other sport? I mean, what do you get out of swimming, either physically or mentally, that's better?
Mentally, you become a lot tougher, and physically, you get the nice swimmer's body.
All right, Ken, what do you think?
It helps you build character, leadership. That's it, basically.
All right, and John, what you said you're swimming in 4 different events at the sectional. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, the 100 fly.
All right, and why would that be?
I'm pretty close to state.
To qualifying for state. When you say state, you're saying qualifying for time.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about swimming, it's not necessarily beating your opponent.
Yeah,
it also can be
qualifying.
making a certain time.
Yeah.
Now, how are those times established?
I don't know. The IHSA comes up with them, and if if people make them a lot this year, then they'll decrease the time a lot next
So
year.
as swimmers get faster and faster,
Yeah.
the time gets tougher and tougher
Yeah.
each year?
Mhm.
Okay. And Ken, what would be your favorite event?
Probably the 100 free.
Any particular reason?
That's no, basically because that's my fastest stroke, and that's it.
All right. I'll come back to you now, John. We talked a little bit about practice earlier. What's it like swimming for Coach Frederick?
It's pretty laid back sometimes. He's a pretty laid back guy, but then he could get in your face. So, I don't know.
Do you feel like you need that kind of presence when it comes to swimming? Is it
Yeah,
you need a coach that's going to stay on top of you all the time?
yeah. But then he lets you self-motivate sometimes, which is nice.
Okay. And Ken, you're a junior currently, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I know it's a little bit early to think about college, but is swimming something that you would see in your future?
I don't think so. I think it's just a high school thing.
Okay. And John, back to you for the same question.
Maybe, probably.
You'd like
Yeah.
to if you could?
Yeah.
Okay. If we go back to the sectionals that are coming up,
Mm-hmm.
you guys both are not natural bleach blondes.
Yeah.
So John, what's the story with the hair?
We bleached it. It's just like it used to be a tradition here, I think, and then we're going to shave it for sectionals.
All right. And Ken, does the hair have any impact at all on times or anything, or does it
No, it just
something to do for?
yeah.
For the ladies.
Builds.
Does it work with the ladies?
No.
No.
Yeah. For me, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. Who, when it comes to the sectionals, what other schools around the area are your major competition? I know we're pretty reputable here at RB, so Ken, I'll start with you. Do you know of any of the other schools that you guys compete against that would be your top competition at sectionals?
I'd say Fenwick and OPRF.
All right, so schools here in the area.
Yeah.
All right, and how do you think you guys can stack up against them?
I think in some events we could pretty much go head-to-head against them.
All right. And John, have you guys swam against any of those schools during the year?
We swam against OPRF,
Okay,
and we didn't do too bad.
not too bad.
Yeah.
All right, well listen, thank you guys
All
for coming on. I really appreciate your time. We'll be back with another segment of Bulldog Tales right after this.